in order to make our model more realistic, we are going to add now the waiting amount of time that the consumers are willing to wait for the product delivery. And let's say if this time exceeds the customer's expectation, the customer might just drop the idea of purchasing the product, and they might return back to the potential a potential user state. So this is part 8 of agent based modeling, and we are going to model consumer impatience in this video. So first thing is the disclaimer and about the software and the material and the material which is used in the preparation of these tutorials. So we are going to model consumer impatience, and as mentioned earlier, if the delivery time it exceeds the consumer's expectation, the consumer might go back to the potential user state from wants to buy state. So for that purpose, we will define two parameters in the main, and that would be the maximum delivery time. We will take the value of, let's say, a baseline value of 25 days, and then we are going to adjust it later on. And then another parameter, maximum waiting time, and it would be 7 days. It would be a default value of 7 days, and then we are going to assume that the product is delivered between something around 1 and 25 days with an average of 2. So to address this thing, to include this type of times, we are going to make the purchase transition that we added in our last video. We are going to make it stochastic, and for making it stochastic, we will go to that purchase transition, and then we will add a triangular distribution from the top ribbon. So if you just have a look at the AnyLogic, there is this icon which shows it's about adding the distribution, and if you click on it, there are like multiple probability distributions that are available in AnyLogic. For our purpose, for the purchase transition, we are going to use a triangular distribution with a minimum value of 1, maximum of 25, and average of 2. And we are going to add this stochastic time in the purchase transition by using this by using this triangular distribution. And here, if you see that it's a triangular distribution, with the 1 is the minimum time and the 2 is the average time, and instead of writing the 25, we will write here the maximum delivery time. We will link it to the maximum delivery time that we have earlier defined in the main. So this is a way to write it. The way and why are we doing it? Because later you will see in this tutorial that we will add some interactivity to our model, and for that purpose we will change the delivery time. So instead of hard coding it to 125 and 2, we are just referring it, we are just linking it to the maximum delivery time that has been defined in the main. And similarly, we are going okay, sorry, that's a different thing. And then we are also going to add another transition, and that transition is that when the delivery time it exceeds the consumer's expectation, the consumer might go back to the potential user state. And for that, we are going to define a transition, and we will call it can't wait. And that means that if the consumer is not willing to wait, and the consumer will go from wants to buy state to the potential user state, and we are going to define it through a triangular distribution, but through a different but in a different form. Previously, here we defined it with the minimum and the maximum, and we have taken mode as the average value, the value that is appearing as the most we used as 2 days. Now here, for the can't wait transition, we will use a triangular distribution, but instead of using the minimum, max, and mode, minimum, max, and the mode or average, we are going to use two things here. One is the maximum time, and then the percentage of and the variability. So here the variability is like, if the maximum waiting time is 25 days, so we will allow a variability of 15%. And there is more steps to this tutorial, so we are moving to the next slide now. So as discussed that earlier, that we are going to add interactivity, and that's why we'll make our maximum waiting time and maximum delivery time as dynamic. And for that, we are going to use the control toolbar. The control in the palettes, there is a control palettes, and from where you can add different buttons to your model. So we are going to add a slider button, and this slider will have a min, max, and min and max value. We are going to adjust the value of our waiting time, and remember that by default we placed maximum waiting time is we placed a value of 7 to the maximum in maximum waiting time, and value of 25 into the maximum delivery time. And we are going to make it more dynamic by adding the sliders. That is, we will move the slider and we will change these values, and then we will assign two sliders. We will drag two sliders and assign one to the maximum waiting time, and the other to the maximum delivery time. And in the slider we will make the minimum and maximum value of waiting time as from 2 to 15, and delivery time is from 5 to 25. So we will just vary the values between these two, between this minimum and maximum, and we will see, and we'll try to observe what's the effect of these things, of these parameters on our simulation. And there are, let's just finer details, because we want to we will change these values in integer steps. So we'll use a step size of 1, and we can add the labels if we want to add if we want. So, and we will also add the name, and I think, yeah, that's all for the steps. So let's go to the AnyLogic and see how it is actually done. So it might look overwhelming, but these are very simple steps, and I'll walk you through them. So I'll go to the AnyLogic, and I've already opened a file here. That is the modeling consumer impatience. Uh, I've already copied the instructions here. So we are already in the main diagram, and it says that in the main diagram we have to add two parameters. So we'll go to the palette, and this is the agent library. By this time, I think you have, by practicing, you might be aware that the parameters are available in the agent library. So drag one parameter here and give it a name as max waiting time. Okay, max delivery time first. We'll go step by step. So max delivery time, and it is double, and the default value is 25. So that means that we are giving it a value of 25, but by adding the sliders we can always change it. So right now it's just a baseline value. So maximum delivery time is 25. So we are now going to add another parameter. You can always drag this from here to the canvas. Easy way is to just click on this one and then Control C and then Control V. You by Control C Control V, you have just copied this parameter. Now just change its name. So previously it was maximum delivery time, so we'll call it maximum waiting time, and its default value is 7. So now we have defined two parameters, the maximum delivery time and maximum waiting time. Now it says that now we have to go to the consumer diagram, and I'll just copy these instructions and I'll place them in the consumer diagram. Okay, so here we are now in the consumer diagram. So I'll just put it here. So once we are done with the main and we have defined the two parameters, now what we are going to do, we are going to make purchase time as stochastic. That is the time uh, to get to make the consumer move from wants to buy to the user state. And we earlier fixed it as 2 days. Now we are going to make it as stochastic, something between 1 and 25 with an average of 2 days. So I'll just delete it. And if you look at the top, this is the icon for choosing the probability distribution. So I'll choose the probability distribution, and we will use a triangular distribution with the with a minimum of 1. And here like there are AnyLogic has a wonderful library of the distributions. So we'll choose a triangular. There are like three triangular, AV, and that is the triangular, and that is third one is triangular truncated. So we are using the triangular, and the minimum value here is 1, maximum is 25, and the mode is 2. So it is kind of a very skewed distribution, but we'll go with it. So we have defined the stochastic behavior. Now, instead of just writing here 25, as I mentioned earlier during the PowerPoint slides, we don't want to hard code it. We want to make it. More. We want to make it more dynamic. So we will write here as main dot max delivery time. Okay. So now, instead of writing 25, we have changed it to main dot max delivery time. So whatever the changes we are going to make in that parameter in the main, we will have the effect of those changes in our distributions. So just press F7 or this build model to see. Okay, so it looks fine. So we have done this. Now we are going to add a transition from the wants to buy to the potential user state. That is this is a transition that this shows that the consumer might go back to the potential user state if the wait time is too high. So I'll go to the palette, and here there is this is the state chart library. Here we have transition. I will double click, and then I will choose that wants to buy, and I'll connect it to the potential user. So now I have defined this transition, and this transition I'll just show its name. It is can't wait, and it is timeout, and it is again defined by a probability distribution. So we are going to use an average triangular AB, and that has two parameters. One is the average, and the other is the variability. So I'll just take it as it is and then make changes there. Okay, so this is triangular AB10. Now here I will use the main. Again, I don't want to hard code it, so main dot max waiting time, and the variability is 15%. So in this way we have defined these two transitions. Now these two transitions are stochastic, and they have been linked here with the two parameters that we defined earlier in the main. Okay, so now we have added these two transitions, and just for the beautification purpose, so we are done with our consumer diagram, and we'll go back to the main diagram now. Okay, sorry, I have to delete it from here. Now I'll go back to my main diagram, and you see that we have done these steps. So I'll just move this thing from here to here and make this thing in the view, bring this thing into the view. Okay, now we are going to add some dynamics or some sort of interactivity to our simulation model. And for that purpose we are going to the, if you hover your mouse here, you see there's a, you see that there is a controls library. So there are like different sorts of button here, a button, checkbox, edit box, sliders, combo boxes. I'll use here the sliders. So let's place them place them here. Okay, place them. Okay, keep it here. Keep them here at the moment. So this is the slider, and this is for the max waiting time. And this is it we have to max. Okay, just let me see what's wrong here. So we have got this slider here, and okay, sorry, we have the slider here, and now I am going to I'll just drag two sliders here. So okay, so this slider, it is linked to the I'll just link first the maximum waiting time and the minimum value. Just remember again that we assign a value of default value of 7, but right now I'm making it more interactive, and I'm going to vary it from 2 to 15, and I'll use a step of 1 to make it change in the integer values like 2 3 4 5, not 3.5. And I'll just add labels here. So min max, these values are added here, and this is the for the maximum waiting time. So this is our slider. Second slider, we are going to link it to the maximum delivery time, and though the default value is 25, it will have its minimum value is 5 and the maximum value is 25. So now we have and then we also add the labels here. So we have now added the two sliders. So, and finally we'll just write the names here, and we will go to the we can add, we can add the labels to it. And if we just go to the presentation, and there is, a text box here. So I'll just write the name here. This was, I think, max uh, wait time. Okay, and if I just select it, and okay, sorry, yeah, and I can make its size to, where is the size here, size option. Okay, I can't see it right now. Where is the size option? I don't know why I can't see the size option here. Maybe okay, it was, it was hidden. So the size is, let's make it 14. Okay, so maximum wait time. And I'll just, I can always drag another text box. I'll just copy it and paste it, and I can just change its name. This is maximum delivery time. Okay, so now I have added the interactivity to my simulation model, and just to make sure that these two sliders, they don't interfere with my simulation, I am going to move them into the bottom of my canvas. So here, there we go. Now the we have done everything. We will now run our models to see what's happening in it, and just save it. And it's saved now by pressing Ctrl S, or by, just clicking the save button. We will now run it, and let's see how it is behaving. Okay, so this is our simulation model. These are the times. Let's say right now it is 7, and I'll just make the delivery time, okay, I'll try to change it, oh, I'll try to bring it to a, okay, just leave it. Okay, uh it's right now its maximum delivery time is 25. We can change it. Okay, I'll try again, because no, okay, I'll just run it again. I just wasted some time here. So here we go again. So this is our simulation, and we are going to make it, even if we choose here the any value which is not integer, it will automatically convert it to the nearest integer because we have chosen a step size of 1. Okay, just try running at 7 and this, and I'll just run it on the virtual speed, and you'll see that how the potential users are going first to the wants to buy state, and then they move to the user state if the time is within their tolerance, and if it's not, they'll go back to the potential user state. So this is how we can add more controls, more realism to our simulation. So this is a graph of our simulation. You can see the agents changing color from blue to yellow to green, and this process will go on for the defined time, and I think we have defined 365 or 500 days. So simulation is finished, so we are done with it, and I'll now wrap up this lecture, and I'll go to the slide. We have already seen it in AnyLogic. Now that's all for this part. In the next video, which is the final part, we are going to now run the model with varying parameters, and we'll see how it is done. In the meantime, do not forget to download it from AnyLogic. Download the AnyLogic PLE and keep practicing. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned. Bye.